And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, March 10th, 2018. It's Season 12, Episode 9. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
And I'm Matt.
Welcome to the show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at In-Game Chats. You can also find us on Facebook at the same place, whatever. It's all In-Game Chat. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. Which I think I got an email from Spigot this week.
Did we?
Spigot? Did I have a dream that I got one for Spigot?
Dreaming about Spigot.
I can't remember. No, yeah, he did. He said, okay, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, he sent one. It went to all of us, but he sent me a little link about a retrospective on Burnout Paradise getting its remastered edition released this coming week.
Yeah.
He sent me to an article on a website that had a retrospective on the game previous.
And it's okay to dream about Brock.
Yeah, and that's fine too. I don't mind having dreams about Spigot. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, you can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're streaming the cam right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv. Type in the top bar at the top. You can type in In-Game Chat. You'll be able to find us. Again, you can just go to ingamechat.net, click on the Twitch link right there, and you'll directly take into our video. So you can watch us while we do the show live. While we broadcast, you can join us in the chat room with everyone else who is in there as well. Let me get this out of the way real quick as we do the old
Clack.
clap thingy. And there we go. Yeah, episode 9 and 507 for the total episode so far. And welcome to the show. We've got a lot to cover. At 5:30, or in the last segment of the show, Joshua's going to join us. I don't know if he likes to be called Josh or Joshua. We'll find out when he gets here.
Yeah,
but he's going to join us to talk about D&D stuff. Because, as you may have heard in the last episode, we had this idea for doing a D&D episode, and Joshua called in and said that he would be our dungeon master, our DM, and would go over everything. So we're going to try and dip our toes a little bit into that, and we'll have more information about the D&D episode that we're going to be doing, because we are going to be doing one, but we're going to start prepping for that. But we'll give you more information coming up later in the episode. As far as Lethal Migraine likes Burnout Paradise, fantastic. As far as this episode is as far as this episode is concerned, there's a lot of news to cover. We got a Nintendo Direct that released or that came out and listed a lot of games that are going to be coming soon for the 3DS and the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that. We got 2 new game announcements that were this week that are multi-platform games. We got 2 of those announced this week. We got a delay going on. We had a release date announced for another game that we didn't have an announcement for, and yeah, there's a lot to cover. So let's just jump right into it and get on with what all we played, and I'll start with RJ for what you've been playing.
It's been nothing but Capcom titles this week. A little more Street Fighter 5 AE and a bit more of Monster Hunter World. Making a little more progress. Finally got to upgrade one of my weapons to the Rarity 4 class, so I can finally do some more damage that I've been desperately needing in some of these missions. Still going through story mode. So I finally took out my first Legiana, and I've been going forward from there.
That's it? That's all you played?
Yeah, that's it. Just those 2 titles, man.
That's fine, because, I mean, you know, there are days when I do the show, and I'm like, oh, I didn't play anything.
Yeah.
As for me, I played... I was looking at my Xbox, because my Xbox is where I watch a lot of my movies on my USB stick and stuff. That's through my Xbox. And so
Easy way of doing it.
sometimes it'll be on there, and then I'm like, well, let me look at my games and see, before I start a movie, let me see what kind of games I've got on here. And a lot of them are digital games. There are a lot of those games with gold that I have downloaded or able to download. And so I'll look at my list of things, and I'll be like, ooh, go download that, go download that, go download that. Let me put all this on here. And I finally finished Peggle 2.
All right.
I know. I hadn't done that. And I finally
you
finished...
were like missing like one level or something like that?
Well, I was missing one level, and I finished that up, but then I was doing the challenges per level. They have 10 challenges for each level. Mm-hmm. And so I finally... And I had this one challenge, and it was just giving me frustrations, but I finally finished that. And I really don't have anything left to do with it. There are 2 downloadable levels, and I don't know that I'm going to do them.
Cost anything? Cost for downloadable?
Yeah,
stuff?
they do.
Yeah.
It's like $1.50 or something.
Okay.
They're not that much for each level. It's like maybe $1.50. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But so I finished that. I mean, it was Peggle 2, sure. Then I played. What else did I jump into? I want to say I jumped into something else, and then. Finally, I did load up Burnout Paradise for the backwards compatibility because I had that, and played a little bit, just a tiny little bit. I didn't do anything with it. I just played a little bit of it. And
I was thinking about loading that back up, but I think I'm just going to wait for the...
There's the reviews of the remaster aren't that great.
Oh.
Because it's already on the EA Access thing,
Yeah.
where people can get to it early. And the thing now, they can't get to it on PS4 because the PS4 does not have the EA Access.
But yeah, the
But-
PC port, I think.
No, the Xbox.
Oh, Xbox.
PC doesn't happen until later this year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So the Xbox One, this is just people playing on the Xbox One. People with an Xbox One X on a 4K TV are noticing improvements. People who are apparently not on a 4K TV or are playing on an Xbox One S are seeing just a slight resolution bump, but nothing really. That they're really calling it a lazy port.
What's up with lazy ports lately?
I don't really care. It's a brand new for this game particular. Honestly, if they were bringing back Revenge or Takedown or any of those that were on the PS2,
Yeah, those. Oh man, that would have been nice.
yes, you're going to see improvements. Probably you should if they were bringing those back, but they're not. They're just working with Paradise, and that's fine. I don't really care. I am excited to get this game and play it fresh again, which I know I could do on the backwards compatibility if I wanted to, but the fact that there'll be a lot of other people playing it, the fact that everything will be there.
I wanted to have access to Big Surf and the Flying DeLorean.
Did you never have? Well, you played on PC then.
Yeah.
You never played on console with it, did you?
No.
Yeah.
So that it frustrates me because like there was a way to get it, but it was this really weird. I think go through Amazon.
You had to go through
yeah.
Amazon. If you bought it off of Origin, you got everything that they could give you with the exception of some of the download packs. And the only way to get those download packs was to buy them off of Amazon because it's the only way. The store had shut down. Like if you went into the game and then went into the store in the game to buy them,
Right.
It was not there. You were not available to do that. But you could go to Amazon and buy all the DLC packs for the PC version and then activate it, and you'd have it, which is what I did when I played it on Origin. But the fact that it's going to get a remaster on PC, I will be picking this game up twice on PS4, and I will pick it up on PC as well whenever that does release. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Watching somebody play it again for the first time and watching everything, just looking at that map and seeing everything is just barren, and nothing's there. I haven't the different junctions haven't been unlocked yet.
All the gates are still uncrashed.
All the billboards are still intact. All the gates uncrashed. Getting achievements for like the least little thing
Pressing start. Yay.
Well, you drive through and fix your car. You drive into
Yeah.
an auto repair thing and fix your car. It's like, boop, you got an achievement. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be fun again to get the trophy. All this, just to go through it again and enjoy that will be will be fun. So I'm looking forward to that next week when it releases. It's $40, and that's not bad. But a lot of people are like, ew, this is not even worth a $40 port, man. Of course, getting it at Best Buy will get you that. If you're a Gamers Club, it'll get it knocked it off a little bit. Because I was debating on getting it digitally, buying it off the PSN store, so that I could, so that I wouldn't have to switch discs all the time and that sort of thing. But I think for me, the value of it comes to, hey, I'm going to pay. I've already bought this game many, many times. I'm going to buy it cheaper this time and have a box. So I'll probably go that route.
Too bad they're not going to do a Steelbook.
Nah, this was before the Steelbook era ever hit when it originally released, and being that it's a remaster of something, it's not going to get a Steelbook for this one.
Well,
I know Shadow of the Colossus did, but
exactly
Shadow of the Colossus was also a Sony exclusive.
True.
So they had the money to put behind there. This is EA, and this is EA's first attempt at a remaster. So, I'm hoping that it sells well so they continue to do these remasters.
maybe look deeper into their catalog.
Whether it be Burnout games or not. But the quality that I'm hearing from people playing this is that the fact that this is the quality of the remaster will not sell this game. It'll be the fact that this was a very well-loved game from way back when, 10 years ago.
Yeah. And has everything.
And has everything on it and is only $40. And nobody, we haven't had Burnout for 10 years.
Wow. When you put it like that, it's like, has it been that long?
Yeah, 2008. We looked this up last week. It was 2008 when Burnout Paradise released. So
Just going off nostalgia.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. But back to what I did play. I played a little bit of Burnout Paradise. The main thing I did play Pony Island. Did I say I played Pony Island last week? Okay, I'd already done that. Never mind. I played Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Which one?
India.
Okay.
I didn't know.
That's the side-scrolling.
Yeah, are all the Chronicles side-scrollers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reminds me of Prince of Persia.
Were these mobile games that they beefed up to being console games? Because I could easily see my dragging my finger across the screen to
I'm not 100%
do
sure.
the thing. I don't know. So I played a little bit of it. I was
there's
actually
India and Russia.
It held my attention.
Okay.
It actually held my attention going through there. Not story wise or anything, but just gameplay mechanics and everything. That held my attention. It was interesting to play a stealth assassin type game, but in a side scrolling nature.
I have them all.
I do too over the span of different consoles.
Yeah.
I think on PC I've got ones that I don't have on Xbox, and then I've got the PS4's got one.
I think the only thing I'm missing is Freedom Cry.
That's not part of the Chronicles.
No, but
you were talking about all as in all
Assassin's
the Assassin's Creed. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Chronicle game.
No, I bought the big Humble Bundle, whatever Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And
that had some, but that didn't have everything.
It didn't have everything, but then Uplay had a sale, and I filled out that, and then I got Rogue, and so
yeah, I've got Rogue, and I've got a couple of others. I think I'm missing some, but what I'm missing is not very much for the PC ports of everything.
Yeah, I think, and I've played the PSP one.
Yeah, which is Liberation.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Liberation, which is also on PC.
The one with Altair?
No, the PSP, or I'm thinking of Vita. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Vita. That was Liberation.
Yeah, with that was set in 3?
I
think.
No, it was before. It was,
but in that time.
Yes, it was the first time I got to play as a female assassin.
Yeah. No, the PSP one had Altair in it.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it was.
I don't.
Bloodlines.
I'm thinking Brotherhood. Maybe. Who knows?
Or I might be thinking of Dracula. I don't know.
It could be either of those. But yeah, I played Assassin's Creed, what is it? India. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. And also, I also whipped out a really old game. And I say old, but it's... this was a game that I was highly excited for, and I got to play it at E3, and I was really, really looking forward to playing it. I loved the concept. I loved the aspect. Everything about it I was really fond of. And then it released with the Xbox One. It was a launch title for the Xbox One. And I picked it up on a Black Friday deal maybe a year later, or maybe even not a year later. It may have been around the same time. It was probably like $35 when I grabbed it. But it was a Kinect-only title. And it wasn't long after that, maybe 3 or 4 months after that, when Microsoft said that, yeah, we're not really concerned about the Kinect anymore. We're going to move on from there. And that studio the studio didn't release a statement, but I was following a lot of their people on Twitter who were like, yeah, this hurts. This hurts to read that, because that's the direction they were going. And then they completely fell off they didn't really fall off the face of the earth. They tried a couple of things, but they are not the juggernauts of what they used to be. The company I'm talking about, anybody want to take a guess? Because I didn't really give much clues.
No, you didn't.
Harmonix.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Harmonix was massive at one point. They were
about 10 years ago.
Yeah, they were on top of the mountain, on top of their game, and on
You
top
can only do
of
so much with basically musical
Rhythm
Simon
games?
Says.
Well, I mean, once Guitar Hero had run its course.
Yeah.
Um,
And they were fun. I mean, they were good for parties. They were fun, but, other than that.
yeah, it was. It had its time, and the game I'm talking about is Fantasia.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really excited for the release of that game. I had played a lot of it at E3 and was just fascinated with it. I love Fantasia. Fantasia is a favorite of mine. Out of the Disney films, out of all the Disney films, out of most films.
Does this have to
Fantasia's-
do with Fantasia?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
You're not familiar with any of it, are you?
No.
This was when the Xbox One released, man. So it goes back.
Really?
And it didn't get a lot of fanfare because it was
No.
Kinect-only title.
That's my favorite Disney, both Fantasia and 2000.
Yeah, no, it has a lot to do with Fantasia because you meet with the oh man, they
the
said
conductor?
they said his name in the game because you meet with him. Yes.
Oh, the wizard. Yes,
The wizard, yes.
Yeah, it's, Disney backwards.
Yes. You meet with him.
Yeah, Yen Sid.
Yin Sid, yes. You meet with him, and he's got the hat there, and he's like, "Hey, you're going to be my new apprentice, but first you gotta do these tasks and chores." And basically, that's the tutorial where you learn the mechanics of the game and how to wave your arms around to make music happen and stuff.
Kind of like how Mickey did with the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
No,
I want to
totally.
play this so much.
Totally, that is exactly what it was. Yeah.
I want this game.
Disney's Fantasia Music Evolved. That's exactly what it was. And you go through and you go through the game. And I played a good 2 hours of this thing, waving my arms around and everything else. It was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's a shame I took the cellophane off the game. This was it Thursday night? Yeah, it was Thursday night. I took the cellophane off the game for the first time. I had that game forever. Didn't do anything with it.
It just sort of sat there.
Yeah. And I had the music. There was still the download codes, so I put those in the system.
they still worked?
Oh, they still worked. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah,
They still worked.
Usually download codes of games have 5-6 years
Yeah.
before they expire. I'm looking at the soundtrack of this thing. Goodness.
What songs?
Oh, it's got a lot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the artists here. Lady Gaga, New Order, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody is in there.
David Bowie is in there.
Yeah.
Elton John is in there.
Mozart,
Not what I would
Depeche Mode,
expect in a Fantasia, but okay.
It's good.
The Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc. at the time. Yeah.
It's got Mozart in there. It's got
Okay.
Beethoven. It's
Yeah.
got
CeeLo Green, The Police, MIA, Missy Elliott, Peter Gabriel, Bruno Mars, The Who,
I think Chekhov's
White
in there,
Stripes.
too.
Any?
Johann Bach. Yeah,
Okay,
David Bowie.
Bach.
Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie, yeah.
Oh, I do like that song. What about any? Was it Edvard Grieg? The In the Hall of the Mountain King.
I don't know if In the Hall of the Mountain King's in there, but Night on Bald Mountain is in there.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's the classic.
Yeah, of course.
Ending with that, going into Ave Maria.
But that was there. You play that during the tutorial. So
That'd be awesome to be able to like conduct Chernobog as he just like.
But it's
rolls on.
it's really, really cool because as you play this, you can unlock mixes of songs, just like you could in. Well, I don't want to say just like you could, but it felt more like Amplitude.
Okay.
Where, you could play certain tracks of the song instead of jumping over to do the vocal all the time. You could go and just do the drum beat if you wanted to and stay on that lane.
This sounds like a lot better than the Star Wars, Connect.
Star Wars Connect, yeah, I know.
I'm solo.
There was we were playing a version of The Police, Message in a Bottle.
Okay.
So during the tutorial, I played the normal version, and I'm like doing my thing. Well, then during another part of the game, we go back into the game into that song, and it's like, okay, you need to change the mix. Whenever you get the option to pick a mix, pick it was like the CDQ or the CQD mix. Don't stick with the straight one, and that's a very tropical, like it's very island funk version of it. Completely changes the song. I mean. Not the words, obviously.
Yeah, but
it
rhythm.
makes it much more string-oriented.
Okay.
Remix.
Yeah. No, totally. There's 3 different remixes for each song.
Yeah, see the DLC for it. There's a pink mix, green mix, and
Right.
a regular mix.
There's the options are blue, pink, and green whenever
Yeah.
you're doing that. As far as color coding, but they relate to different things. So, no, it's fantastic.
Interesting.
It was wonderful to play, and I
Just like a forgotten gem.
Yeah, I felt bad for not having played it all those years.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what I did. And it really didn't do much else. I didn't play much else. I'm trying to think. Was there anything that I was not even much I was tempted to play? I've got a lot. I kind of want to get into Orwell because that's on right now. There's a version of Orwell that's out that's episodic. But I've got the original game, and I kind of want to dip into that. Moltal says, what do you do in the game? What are the controls? Well, it's a Connect title, Moltal, so you're the controller.
So you wave your arms.
Yeah, like when you go into the game itself, there are a few things that you'll do at the beginning of the game with the controller, but then a prompt comes up and says, put the controller down and stand in front of your Connect. And once you do that, it on the screen, there shows this like conductor platform for an orchestra. And then it shows your outline standing there, and your hands, it tracks your hand movements because that's how you wave. If a note comes up, you put your hand up and then you swipe up. And then if there's 2 notes at the same time that come up, you put both hands up and you swipe up or swipe to the left or swipe inward or do this. It's very, it's very fluid motion, that sort of thing.
Okay.
There's one where you swipe up and then you hold a position while it's carrying a note for a while. If a note bends or something like that, you punch towards the screen and then you follow the path of whatever it's showing so that you can bend the note while you're doing that.
Sounds like Dance Central, the way you do in Dance
Could
Central.
be.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
is.
I've never looked into those dance games
Yeah.
because, meh.
I think, the way you describe it, I think I've seen maybe once or twice at some place. It sounds like they, hit this on the screen, do this, and when it does this note, do it like this, and yeah. From a lot of the pictures I'm seeing on YouTube, a lot of people standing up doing a lot of motions on that. So yeah, it looks like that's.
I really had a lot of fun with it. I really, really did. The tutorial is very long. It's very, very long.
I mean, how long are we talking about here? Like
45 minutes. Well,
Serious?
because you're playing songs, and each song is maybe about 3 to 4 minutes long, right?
Yeah, but
so there's maybe 4 to 5 different mechanics.
Yeah.
So, you're already, if that's the case, you're already looking at like 20 minutes to cover the mechanics. And then there is, once you unlock the mechanics of the game, you have to, there's some other aspect that you unlock. Then it shows you the realms that you're going to be playing in. And it shows you how to navigate the realms. Once you get into the realms, it's like, okay, let's go do a song here in the realm. This is how you activate songs in a realm. And you play a song. Another 4 minutes go by, while you're doing a song. And it says, oh, you've unlocked this. Now do this thing over here. It's like, now look for another song. So like it wants to take you through a full level because once you do like 3 or 4 songs in a level, you unlock this other thing, and then it wants to teach you about that. So I had to complete an entire level first before I ever felt like I was free to, okay, now you can do what you want, to follow the story. Now, you can play songs. You can go back to the main menu and just say, hey, I want to play a song. But the problem with that is that the songs available to you, unless you've unlocked them in the game, they are not available to you.
That's a typical feature in a lot of music-based games. You got to do this before you unlock it. Yeah.
So I've got to beat the entire thing in order just to unlock the ability to play these songs at my own will. So
Right.
So yeah, just answering his question about how you navigate in the games like that. So let's take our first break, and then we'll get we'll find out whatever Matt's been playing, and try and jump into some of this news here. So don't forget, we're doing themes here for the show, for the music. I think this will be an easy one. I probably made it a little too on the nose.
Well, we didn't get last week, so
I know, but we all sat we all were in the parking lot after the show last week and said, "What do you want to be for the theme?" And then we came up with
forgot.
We came up with an idea. So
totally forgot.
Anyway, well, here's your first song in the theme. I went all over the place with these, so it covers some modern, some really classic, some old. This one goes back to, I think, the PS2 days. I think it was a PS2 title. Spyro,
yes.
Is that a PS2 title?
PS1.
PS1?
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the title screen from Spyro. We'll be back with more in-game chat after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chats. I'm Scott along with RJ and Matt. This is music from Cameo.
Oh, okay.
It's which was a launch title for the 360. And one of the first games I ever played on the 360. This was
that the purple-looking cover? Like it had a purple cover, or with a
it had a bunch of different colors on it, but
very colorful.
Yeah, it was a rare title. And
the developer,
developers, yeah, and they also made it's also in the rare replay, which is like, I don't know, $10 you get 30 some odd games. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's real nice. So this is Cameo. It's called Cameo's Quest. And again, it was the first game I ever played on the 360. It was also the first game that I played in what was considered at the time HD. This was the game that kind of opened my eyes to
the gloriousness of
HD gaming. Yes, high def gaming.
Because I remember at that time, the big one that I really wanted was Dead Rising. but only still had a standard def television at the time, and
Oh,
that was
that's
the
right.
one where
which
it's
made text
you
reading
couldn't read the
impossible.
text.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I think Condemned.
Criminal Origin,
I think Condemned was like that too.
probably.
Condemned 2, I think, because I had a
I think it would
standard
have been the
definition.
first
Yeah,
one.
standard definition TV. Try to read the text in that. It was a
Nope.
little difficult doing
Yeah.
that.
Like, all right, now you came in trying to find a standard def television.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Pawn shop,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly, maybe. Matt, what have you played?
I played some more Ghost Recon Wildlands with
Okay.
Kevin. We are getting ready for Far Cry 5 at the end of the month, so we're just still running around Bolivia, having fun with that. Both of us have already beat the game, but
Right.
still the replayability is a lot of fun. Another Hitman Elusive Target came out,
Yeah,
and I played that today, this morning, and was successful. So, like I've said many times, I really like that series. I like that game. I was doing some of the challenges throughout the week, also, just doing some of the escalation missions just for fun. And let's see what else did I do. I was going through my Steam library of games that were installed, and I'm like, oh yeah, the game Saints Row 4, right?
Right.
I'm like, oh, I haven't played that one in a long time. Today I loaded it up just trying to remember, and I'm like, not having fun with it, so I just uninstalled it. I didn't beat it. I'm like,
I haven't tried to
I
play.
think that one is where it jumped the shark.
Yeah, I haven't
Really
tried
bad?
to play it.
Yeah.
I haven't tried to play Saints Row 4. I own it, but I haven't tried to play it. Saints Row 3, though, felt like it was the perfect
Yes.
mix of absurdity and whatever they were trying to go for there. It felt like they nailed it, and I was actually excited for Saints Row 4, but the superpowers and all this stuff. It seemed like,
Yeah.
okay, that's the next progression that you would do to kind of go out there.
Three
but-
is the only one I played in the entire series.
I wish they
So,
would
yeah.
have re-released 1 on the PC. I don't
One
have
took
that.
itself too seriously.
It did. It was a GTA.
Yeah, it was trying to be a
One,
GTA
yeah, from what I
knockoff,
hear,
and then
yeah.
2 decided to say, okay,
Let's go a little
we'll be
crazy.
a little bit different, and then 3 was like, well, let's ramp that up on this one, and they
Yes.
did, and then 4 was like, well, let's ramp it up again, and I think it
And
might have...
I think it went too
much
far.
ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much ramp on that one.
Yeah. To the point of absurdity. And
See, Lethal Migraine says the best Crackdown game ever made. I actually kind of agree with him on that. I just think it works in the Crackdown universe better than it would in the Saints Row universe, but I don't know because I haven't played 4. I own it, I haven't played it.
I wish some of the powers in 4 would have been in Crackdown, because I enjoyed Crackdown a little bit more than Saints Row 4.
That
because,
just became a backwards compatible title, by the way, for
Oh,
Xbox
really?
One people. Yeah, with
But
enhancements, too.
Just because, the story I think was fun. It sort of was a little bit more. It was more serious.
Yeah.
And then the ending, I was like, oh hey, look at they flipped this the script on me. So that was nice.
in 4?
No, in Crackdown.
Oh, in Crackdown. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, 4 was just ludicrous, not in the fun way. Maybe when I first started playing, it was okay because I was in that mindset. But now, a couple years later, I was like, so I just uninstalled it.
Yeah. Anything else?
That I think is it.
All right. We'll jump into the phones real quick and talk to Chris. Hey, Chris.
What's going on, y'all?
Just talking about video games.
Well, like what I talked to before, sometime down the road, whenever I come in and have some more show and tell, at the time from last week, I already had another system that I was on probably most likely be able to bring, but I hadn't been able to fix it yet. But and I'm sure RJ will probably remember this one, but the TurboGrafx 16, when the CD unit came out originally for that system, it had a big dock that would attach to the bottom of the TurboGrafx, and the CD unit would attach to that. Well, Retro Game Planet has had one for about a month or so now, and they didn't have a controller for the system or the original power supply that was to power both systems, because once you plugged everything together, it just took one massive power supply that had enough voltage and amperage output to run both systems at a time. So we wanted to make sure and find the right type of power supply for it. So we finally got all that done. I did research and found out that the gear drive and that drives a laser, one of the gears is always prone 90% to 100% of the time it's going to go bad. So I already had a replacement gear ordered and in hand. So we opened the sucker up, looked at it. The gear was still intact. We greased it up with some automotive canned grease. And, well, shoot, the gear still turns. We could turn it by hand, powered everything up. The system worked and everything. But the CD would not spin or nothing would work, but the lights would come up on the CD unit, and we're scratching our heads. Well, what in the world's going on? The thing would work. Is the motors or something bad, or they burn out? So I ended up buying it from them for like $200. It had the original big plastic case that came with it, all kind of stuff and all. And I'm scratching my head. It's got to be something simple. So later on, I found a video that somebody else had the exact same problem we did, and watched through the video, and I found out what it was. It was very simple. That plastic gear that always goes bad, it tends to swell over the years and eventually crack and break. But ours is, and that unit is swollen so much, it was putting too much pressure on the gears, and the motor was not strong enough to drive the laser gear. So I replaced the gear, and now it works perfectly.
Nice.
Yeah.
And about triple the value of what I paid for it.
Probably so. Yeah. Exactly. That's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Was it like did you put like a metal type gear in there? Was something more durable?
No, it was a plastic gear that
Still plastic?
people in China and stuff have made. It's like $15, but yeah, if anybody else there is listening and you find one of those, and go ahead and get you a gear, replace it. Just listen from my advice. You'll be glad you did. It's not worthwhile leaving that original one in there. It's going to just ruin it.
Heck, I'm thinking about the way 3D printers are nowadays.
Yeah,
so you can make one of your own if you got the schematics.
You can make your own gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very likely, yes.
Yeah. And amazing is to tell you how small it is. If you take a normal retractable pen and take the refill cartridge, the cartridge that contains the ink inside there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically roughly the same diameter as one of those refills for these modern mechanical pens or retractable pens like the G2 blue and black pens that you can get that are...
Yeah, I got one of those, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's it, the refill inside there is what the diameter of that gear was.
Wow.
Really tiny.
Yeah, you got to have delicate hands on that one. You got to have hands of a watchmaker or something like that to get that.
Yeah, and on top of that, he had a little plastic, light wash, on the shaft that it sat on, and you couldn't lose that, and you had to peel it off and then put it on there, and then pop that little light washer back on so it wouldn't work its way off again. Yeah. That was a lot of fun, but luckily I didn't have that much problem with mine.
Well, man, thanks for the phone call, and I'm glad to hear that you got everything worked out and your collection is growing.
Yep, once again. So sounds like y'all got some more news.
We do, yeah. We're going to run through this. We got a guest coming in at the last segment of the show, so I want to try and get everything out of the way that we can. But thanks so much for calling, man.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon. Enjoy this nice weather for once in a while.
It's about to turn bad later on tonight and tomorrow, but yeah, we'll do. Thanks, man.
Take care now.
Bye-bye. I want to remind local listeners, by the way, that there is a River Region Comic-Con coming to town next Saturday, the 17th. Going to be at the Crampton Bowl Multiplex. And
I'll be there.
All week long. Are you going to be there in...
costume?
Yeah. Well, are you going to be there
officially
for that? 501st, or the 501st?
Yeah, the 501st will be there.
Okay, that's what I meant. In an official capacity.
Yes.
Not in a, so you're going to be there next week.
The 501st will be... No, I'm coming to this show.
But are you? Okay, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Wanted to get that clear.
I'll be both.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get by there as well.
Just like today I was at the zoo.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, that's right. It's a zoo weekend. Yep. I'm gonna try and get by there as well. It is this coming
it's the
Saturday.
First time they're doing it.
It is. This is not in relation to the one that was done last year, although they are doing one, but it's going to be in October, I believe. But this is a different one. The fact that we have two different conventions in the same year,
I'm happy.
It's pretty great.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you listen next week, all next week, we started Friday, but all next week, beginning Monday, we'll be on this show in the mornings, we'll be giving away tickets to the River Region Comic-Con. So tune in and listen for that. So just a show note.
So if you're a listener, come out to the convention and you can see me in costume.
How will they find you? How will they know it's you?
Oh, they'll know.
Well, how?
I'll be the TIE pilot with the red stripe.
Will anybody else be a TIE pilot with a red stripe?
I'm the only one in the state.
Okay. You're the only TIE pilot with a red stripe.
Yes.
Okay.
In the state.
There are other TIE pilots in
There
the
are.
state, but you're the only one with a red stripe.
Yep. I am the.
Where is this red stripe?
Both actually starts on both sides and goes all the way down.
Okay. Look for the TIE fighter in the red stripe, and you will find
I am.
that'll be Matt if you're out at the.
I'm the leader of the TIE pilot squadron for the Alabama garrison.
Okay. At the River Region Comic-Con next week. You can see Matt, get a picture with him. Let's see. So, news-wise, jumping into that for the 10 minutes we got left in this segment, and we'll do more as well. Monster Hunter World became the best-selling game in Capcom history last week.
And Capcom needed that.
Oh, did they ever.
Yeah, they did.
7.5 million units worldwide. It was the best-selling game in the company's history. It's the first title in the series to be given a global simultaneous launch. It was given an ambitious worldwide promotional campaign. And, yeah. That number, okay, I'm reading the article here. That number's a bit tricky to break down since Capcom is specifying that it's counting games that were shipped to retailers, not sold through to players. The release does not go on to state that the game has 7 million players worldwide. So there doesn't seem to be a huge difference between the number of units shipped and the number sold. The 7.5 million achievement also includes digital download sales. The PC version of the game has yet to be released. It'll be coming out this fall. So it'll still be making some numbers when it releases in the fall. So congrats to them on that. We got news that it was teased about last week, but yes, Diablo 3 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, which will be interesting. But it's another thing that I'll point out, especially when we go over the Nintendo Direct that happened, where a third factor is thrown in as to where I'm going to pick up a game, depending on if it's a multi-platform type release. Mm-hmm. The portability aspect of what the Switch brings to the table kind of adds a column in its favor. Mm-hmm. I have Bayonetta on the PC, right?
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
I also have it on the 360, but it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One.
In my case, PS3 as well. So
Right. So I have the game on a couple of different platforms, and I have the one on PC that gives me unlimited resolution, unlimited frame rate.
Right.
However, I also picked it up when I did the special edition of Bayonetta 2 for the Switch. Mm-hmm. I did create my European account. I did download Bayonetta 1 on that machine.
Right.
So here it is. I've got a version on PC that I can make look really, really nice, and then I've got the one on the Nintendo Switch, which isn't to say that it's ugly there, but there's a portability factor.
That's the portability of it.
Which changes things. It really throws a decision in there of like, yeah, but I can take this with me and play it. And it doesn't always fall, it doesn't always fall under that simple thing of like, I can take it with me. But when I look at maybe certain types of games like little puzzle games and stuff like that, it's like, you know what, I might pick that up on the Switch. Having my druthers
The portability is a bonus,
especially for something where that is a puzzle-like game where it is you can take it in pieces.
Can you imagine if like The Room came out on a Switch?
Something like that,
That would be fun.
And there's a lot of little things like that are available on the Switch that I can just sort of pick up and play anytime I want to, and I can also bring with me. So it's kind of nice to have that option. So
yeah.
It was also announced this week that Far Cry 5 will have something called Far Cry 5 Arcade. Did you see this?
Oh, yes. I've been following that.
It's basically a level builder.
It's the arcade is the place for custom-built levels from the fan community and also the developers. But if you want to, and you could access it actually in the game, they'll have like arcade stations, like cabinets that you could go to and play. Either like single-player, co-op, multiplayer. Levels. If you want to build your own levels, you'll have to do that from the main menu, though. It's not from the arcade itself.
But then you can upload those levels and people can play them.
Yes.
And you can play them together.
And
the interesting part of that is everything they're throwing in there.
Oh, my God. Like over 5,000 assets,
But from all different Ubisoft games.
Yeah. All of the Far Cry 5 assets are going to be available in it.
Far Cry Primal.
Primal.
And Far Cry 4. Yeah.
Yes. Assassin's Creed.
Black Flag.
Black Flag.
I was about to say other
and-
games are going to be making a mix in there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Watch Dogs too.
Watch Dogs, and there's another Assassin's Creed too. I think Unity.
Yes,
The one in
Unity.
Paris, yes.
Unity is going to. I think coming later is Unity, but yes, it will be in there as well.
Just stuff you can just throw on a map and go for it.
yeah, it's fantastic.
So it's like
So I can
something
make-
like Fallout 4's building regions and stuff like that.
Yes.
So you can just throw a pirate ship from Black Flag anywhere on the map if you want to, if you have access to it. By the way,
Yeah, just I think you'll have access to all the assets
right
from the get go. It's not something you have to unlock. It's just
No,
like,
it's not.
Okay.
Here you go.
One
Make
thing
your
that
own levels.
I was watching some gameplay of Far Cry 5, and there was commentary, and they were talking to somebody who was, I guess, sent out to one of those events where the journalist could play the game or whatever, and then talk about it afterwards. And it was I'm going to say it's an interesting take on co-op, and that's just me being nice because I think it's a horrible take on co-op, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know about this, but Far Cry has always had co-op ability. I mean, wasn't it in 4? Can you? Well, no, there was levels.
There were areas like missions you could
Right.
co-op. The actual game itself was not co-opable.
Right, but Far Cry 5 is co-opable. The entire game is a game you can co-op with.
Yes, from start to finish, a 2-player co-op.
Here's the problem.
It's 2 players,
No,
not 4, like I want it to be.
no. Although that'd be great.
Yes,
Progression is only on the player side.
Yeah,
So if you join somebody's game, the progress you make with them doesn't carry over into your game.
yeah.
So you're just being
I think
You're just helping.
You're just helping.
the money I think you collect,
Yeah.
some of the things you get
So-
rewarded for in the game do stick with you.
So like
But
a trophy or trophy rewards in the game.
Right, but level progression
level
does
progression
not.
does not.
So what I'm thinking, what Kevin and I might do is like I'll probably have him host it and I'll join him because I'm probably going to play it more than he does. Like just by myself. I like the Far Cry series. I always have. I'm going to just dive into it, and so I'll probably be leveling up on my own.
Yeah.
And like have him host the game, and I'll join him. That way, I'll be helping him out.
It's like it goes back to what we talked about a while back for how a lot of manufacturers try to like shoehorn multiplayer aspects into games that personally I don't think were
Don't need it.
meant to be multiplayer.
Yes.
The first thing comes to mind is Dead Space.
Yeah.
I'm not playing Dead Space for multiplayer
But,
aspects, but
yeah.
they shoehorn something in there
Or-
because that was a thing at the time.
Yeah, and the problem with the Dead Space, multiplayer is that when you have a single player story that's about one guy against the odds, like Isaac Clarke, in
Yeah.
Ishimura or whatever,
Yeah.
then adding someone else that sort of, to me, breaks it. Story it breaks up the story. But something like Far Cry 4, I think yes, that that lends itself more for the idea of multiplayer. So I think it's case by case depending on the story of the game and what's happening in the game.
Okay.
But yeah, some games just don't need multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like that aspect. I think the progression should be done for both.
Yes, maybe.
really
maybe
think
it's
so.
something they'll patch out, or maybe they just don't care enough, and that's just how it is. And-
Or
I don't know.
make it to where you get progression through that or something.
I don't even. I'm not sure I understand unless there's some reason where it's like, oh, good, I'm glad that didn't progress me because I don't know, whatever. Maybe there's some sort of way that is meaningful for it not to progress on the person who joins your team. I don't get it though. It feels it doesn't incentivize the other person joining you
Right.
unless they've already done some of the stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
And they're just helping you get through it.
Maybe there'd be something like it wouldn't let you join up until your person joining in has done this already.
Maybe, but then
It sounds like something like
then they've got to want to
did that.
Yeah, but maybe then they've got to want to do that. It's like
Yeah.
I've already done that. I don't want to go through it again.
I'm trying to remember if Dark Souls did that because it was like some places I could not. Yeah, something like you couldn't join this area unless you took out the boss of the area already or something like that. Yeah, the boss has to be. It was something along those lines. Some probably helped me out on that. So, but yeah, you had to like defeat the boss before you could join in someone else's game or go in their area with them or something like that. Some requirement you had to meet.
Yeah, I don't like that aspect. And then before we go to a break, we got a release date announcement for State of Decay 2.
yes.
Which is something I'm actually looking forward to. It's got a release date for Xbox One and Windows 10. It's going to be on PC and Xbox. That's it. No PS4 or no Switch either. But May 22nd is the release date. The standard edition is going to be nice. $30. That's it. $30. The collector's or the ultimate edition is only $10 more. No, wait. $20 more.
That's ultimate edition that's like normal game price.
Brand new.
Yeah, I know. 30 or 50 is your choice. You can
Brand
pay
new
$30 or $50.
Brand new title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
that's a trend folks can get behind.
Kickstarter backer kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is a game that the standard edition includes the base game. The ultimate edition features the base game, the 2 DLCs, which do not have a release date yet. It'll offer early access to the game starting on the 18th when this releases on the 22nd. And it also includes a copy of State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition for Xbox One. State of Decay 2 is a Xbox Play Anywhere title, which means if you buy it on one system, you can play it on the other.
Okay.
So if I buy it for the Xbox One, I also have it on Windows 10. Same applies. If you buy it on Windows 10, you'll be able to buy it on to play it on Xbox One as well. So, So yeah. Additionally, it'll be available as part of Xbox Game Pass, which is interesting. I'm just reading about this one. Game Pass is that one where you pay a certain amount a month and you can play a massive amount of games.
Yes.
Right.
And that's going to be in there. So that's kind of cool because then you can just pay whatever the price is for the monthly price for the Game Pass. You'll get that, but you'll get a bunch of other games to play. So, ooh, you know what's going? Sea of Thieves is doing a beta right now on Xbox One. I might be playing that tonight.
That looks fun.
I'm very interested in it. I haven't had a chance to touch it yet, but I want to try that out. So, anyway, we've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more news for you as well. Here is your third song in the list of whatever we're going for a theme here. Like I said, I pulled from some modern, some old. This goes back to the Saturn. Did you have a Saturn?
Still got a Saturn.
You still got a Saturn. Of course you did. Sega Man.
I played it, never had it.
RJ, Sega Man. This is, there was no title for this other than called Track 1, but it is from,
Mysterious.
yeah, it's from Panzer Dragoon.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Did you,
That
you
was a
probably
good
played
series.
this, right?
I've got that.
I only played the one that released on Xbox.
You got Order.
Yeah, the original Xbox. Yeah. It was the only one I played. Very hard for me to figure out some of the controls,
Yeah,
I think.
I played Panzer Dragoon, and then I played Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah.
I played Saga.
Saga, yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Scott along with RJ and Matt. Any idea what this is? Listen to this.
Sounds like something on public access TV.
Doesn't it?
Something like something
infomercial.
from the 80s. Oh, yeah. I'm picturing like people in, like the
Are you sure you hit the right
sweatpants,
button?
I hit the right button.
leggings, and like jazzercise music. I
Well,
don't
this
know.
comes from the SNES,
Okay.
right?
Oh yeah, some jams.
It's the I guess the opening theme, main theme, menu music, whatever, for port number 342 of Dragon's Lair.
No, I'm calling shenanigans.
No, that is it. I'm not kidding. That's Dragon's Lair.
Nothing like Dragon's Lair.
That is Dragon's Lair.
This is too peppy for Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is it from the SNES.
All that death and destruction before Dark Souls became popular. Dragon's Lair. No.
Yeah, this sounds nothing like what Dragon's Lair would be.
I know, it's weird. It's
Yes.
weird. Now we had a little minute there where there was nothing going on because it was about to play another track from last week, and I don't know how that happened. So
Which track?
the Blood Rain track.
See, that'd be good. Oh, no.
No, we played it last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And it doesn't fit for the theme at all. So yeah, I'm going to have to do some networking here and see if I can figure out exactly what happened. But hopefully we'll find a subject that you guys can talk about while I do that. Let's see, what else do we have in our, State of Decay 2. Fortnite gets an update for a 20 versus 20 versus 20 mode, which is a lot of stuff.
Almost 60 people.
Yeah, it was an interesting little thing that we're going to be doing.
Sounds chaotic already.
Yeah. I have no interest in Fortnite.
A lot of people are comparing it to PUBG. There's a lot
it's
with
like
PUBG with building.
With Minecraft.
PUBG
That's
plus
what I've
Minecraft
heard.
equals
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yeah. No interest in it.
Which I have not played either one, but
I like PUBG.
I'm a little interested in Fortnite.
It just seems too cartoony.
Very
I mean,
much.
if that's what you're interested in, then cool. But
Okay, the last time I read about Fortnite, it was that tower defense game and defending against monsters or aliens or something like that. But with all the stuff I'm seeing about it lately, it's just now competitive play.
yeah, like
PUBG.
a battle royale.
Yeah, just PUBG all of a sudden.
Yeah, but you could build up your, you could still have the tower defense where you could build up like, defenses and structures and buildings or tear them down. And, one of the guys I work with, he said he tried it, but he said that the shooting is just too sporadic and sort of swimmy in a way where it's not as precise as, something like PUBG. The Players Unknown Battlegrounds. It's, with its cartoony nature, he said that the hitboxes and just the bullets were just kind of sporadic. So
I want to say,
and if I wanted like a cartoony kind of game like that, I would have just done Team Fortress with all its hats, because that seems very cartoony.
I never played the Team Fortress, but the shooting's pretty spot on in that game, isn't it?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
people still play it, so I'm guessing it's good. So I don't know.
Not cartoony, but cell shaded like Borderlands, things like that. The shooting's pretty spot on in that one as well. But
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah.
That was a fun game.
So earlier this week, jumping to a different story completely.
All right.
Earlier this week, everybody who owned an Oculus Rift
Had troubles.
couldn't operate their Oculus Rift after a certain date, and I can't remember what day it was this week.
That,
March the 7th. So that was Wednesday.
Yeah, that could be a problem if you spend all that money.
Yeah, apparently there was a certificate that was only good for a year for everybody who bought a Rift, or was only good until that time. Because people who bought Rifts in December or during the sale or whenever that was, they're still stopped working on the 7th of this month.
But that should be a pretty easy fix, right? Just do a new certificate.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it would brick the system.
They issued that they issued a fix for the problem. You had to download a patch. You had to patch it yourself. They couldn't patch it. They couldn't just automatically patch it.
Okay.
You had to download the patch and then apply it because they couldn't just issue it in an update because nobody's Rift was working. So people couldn't turn it on to download the update.
So if you were to buy one now, would it be patched, or would you have to do all those steps?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because if I'm sure, like going forth, they're going to have the patch built into it, for one they produce. But if you were to buy one that was like manufactured before that, it's just been on the shelves or whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'm curious that I would guess that it would still be.
Not sure like any other console. You probably have to update it when you get it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the certificate for the Oculus Runtime Service expired earlier that day. We're aware of and actively investigating an issue impacting the ability to access Rift software. Our team apologizes for any inconvenience this may be causing you and appreciate your patience. They issued a $15 credit, in-store credit for a lot of people who were affected by this. So, yeah. But they got it fixed. It was just interesting that you have a brand new thing, and then it's stops working. I say brand new; it's over a year old, but still.
That's new to most, though.
Yeah. Going back to the sales of certain games, how Monster Hunter World had done a really great job for Capcom.
Right.
I'm just a fan of the game itself, so anytime there's news, I'm going to tell you about it because I get to do that. City Skylines crossed the 5 million mark.
Nice.
For how many copies had been sold on just the PC.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
5 million copies on PC alone.
Yeah.
The popular City Builder had sold 3.5 million copies as of March of last year, which means it got another 1.5 million over the past year.
Yeah, that was one of the titles I was looking for on PS4 as well in the future.
Paradox, the publisher, says that Skylines is the fastest-selling title they have ever published.
Good.
It sold 250,000 units within 24 hours of launch. And so it's currently unclear how many copies have been sold across all platforms, as there aren't any exact sales figures for the Xbox One and the PS4 versions. This came at a time when people were not very happy with what SimCity had done and really didn't have a city builder out there that was comparable to or could do what SimCity once did and what SimCity wanted to do with their update, but didn't quite get there. And so, yeah.
Did you see that Civilization was on sale?
No, I already have it, but no.
Civ 6?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought it off one of them Russian trucks.
Gotcha. I need to see if one of those trucks would say Das Padania to me.
Yes.
Civ 5 was like $7, so I'm thinking about getting 5.
You don't have 5 yet?
I don't. I have 3.
I would skip 5
And just go for 6?
and go for 6.
I think it's like $20-something.
Yeah, I mean, I know you want 5, but seriously,
I mean,
I would skip it and go for. I know.
Yeah.
But then, I don't.
I did watch one of our listeners, El Nouvel, got it.
Yeah.
And I saw they're playing. I'm like, oh hey, I'm like, watch.
Was he playing 5 or 6?
6.
Okay.
So I watched a stream of that. Because like, let me look at this, and I like how it looks, like you're on a map and everything, and the aesthetics of it are very pretty.
Yeah, that's 6, and 5 looks very much the same. That's why I'm saying you should probably go for 6.
Just go for 6.
Because the jump visually, there's not much.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to be much of a jump visually between 5 and 6. But there's probably a better tuning of mechanics in 6.
Okay.
So I mean, it is on sale, but yeah, I mean, I would just go for 6.
All right.
I would honestly just jump for 6. If you can. I mean, I know that 7, but what would you say it was? 20 some odd dollars?
6 was about like 20 something. Like
Yeah,
23.
Yeah, I know. $23 and $7 are a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's fine. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, normally I wouldn't think twice about $20 for a game, but with Far Cry 5 coming out, and like I'm looking at that, which I definitely want to get. Also, that day is going to be Last Jedi on Blu-ray, which I'm also going to get. So
Steelbook?
There is a steelbook available for it, but I'm skipping it.
Oh, really? I haven't seen what the steelbook looks like.
It's not bad. It's actually really nice looking.
Oh, and you're skipping it?
Yeah, I'm still skipping it.
Okay.
Look, this is Star Wars. They're gonna try and make you spend money over and over and over again.
And they do.
The fact that I don't have the previous Star Wars titles on steelbook,
Just because they're ugly.
They are, which is why they're going to do a reissue. I know they are.
Yeah.
They're going to do a reissue, and they're probably going to have better looking steelbooks.
I am hopeful, looking forward to next year, after 9 comes out. Actually, it'll be the year after that. After 9 comes out, have them do like a saga edition, kind of like how they already did with 1 through 6, and then do 1 through 9, and maybe throw in like the stories between Rogue One and Han Solo and whatever comes, I guess Boba Fett maybe or whatever afterwards. But that would be nice.
Going back to gaming for a minute, the two announcements that we got this week were the Division 2 is official.
Don't know. I have, I like the Division. I had fun playing with it. I don't like how the enemies are just bullet sponges. It takes so much to take them down.
Well, we don't know anything other than the title. That's all we know. The Division 2,
I'm guessing it would be, kind of like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit him with a melee, maybe take him out one hit.
Obviously, this is going to be their big thing that they showcase at E3 this year. And still, apparently, we're skipping over Splinter Cell. So, that's, I guess, I'm never getting another Splinter Cell.
Probably not.
For a long time. The other thing we got announced officially was Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forgive them for going with the worst use of Roman numerals I've seen in a game.
I'm sorry, I didn't see this. What?
It's just 4 lines.
Yeah.
I'm so used to, Grand Theft Auto 4. I'm so used to IV,
Yes.
instead of
Although Saints Row 4 did that with the 4 lines.
Saints Row 4. Did it?
Yeah, it's
I
in
thought they
the,
just used a number.
No, it's in the crest.
I did not know that.
I have to look
I mean,
that
at
up.
least in the
I'm
loading,
looking for it right now, too.
in the loading screen, it's in the bottom of the crest with the eagle with a shield. It has the 4.
No, Saints Row 4 has, in the shield.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I mean, whenever I was loading the game, I saw that, and I'm like, oh, that's how they do 4?
I see what you're saying, but in the title of the game, it is the regular.
Yeah, looking at the cover artist, IV.
It's regular Roman numerals. But if you look at the shield under his chair,
Yeah.
it's got the 4 lines under it. But I don't know that counts.
Like I said, when the game was loading, that's why I saw
It shows it. Okay,
that's why I was
maybe
like,
it features more prominent. And we're arguing over Roman numerals. So look how far we've come.
Yeah, we arguing that they don't do it right. Yeah.
It's one of those aesthetics that I'm just like, hey, that's like graphic design aesthetics where it's like, no, don't do that.
Let me see this thing.
Don't do that. What are you looking at? Call of Duty 4?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, just wrong. Just 4 lines. That's how we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would even go with the whole, let's put the number in the title thing like they used to do. Mm-hmm. Like if it was, what is this, Black Ops? Yeah, I don't know. Like the A is like the number 4 or something. I would forgive them for that rather than what they're doing with the Roman numerals.
The one that I liked did that was Resident Evil 7, how it got the Roman numeral 7 in the word evil.
Yeah, VII. Yeah. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah,
VII.
VII.
Yeah, that's what they
but
did.
the EVI, then part of the L.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah, it was
That's a
creative.
good little creative way of doing it.
Going to the Nintendo Direct, because we don't have much time left before we start talking about our D&D episode here. Nintendo Direct was on Friday. Wasn't it Friday? No, it was Thursday.
I think it was Thursday.
It was Thursday. It was Thursday at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon our time. We got a couple of things announced for the 3DS. WarioWare Gold, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, plus Bowser Jr.'s story. A lot of updated ports. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is nice because I didn't have a Wii U, so I didn't play some of these that were released on the Wii U.
Right.
So now I can play them on the Switch. But there's even a point where I say, stop doing that.
You got title overload?
It's just stop doing this. Okami HD. I love Okami's a game that I still haven't played that I'm looking forward to playing.
Me neither. I never played that either.
Yeah. Capcom title?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Okami
HD is going to come to the Switch this summer as like a, an updated version or whatever. It was on the Wii U, but it felt like a port. What was the other one? No, it was, oh God, what is the name of that game? Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh.
Okay.
Is getting a remake for the Switch.
Sure.
I wonder what merited that, getting a remake.
I have no idea.
Was it a really popular title? Like, what are those diamonds in the rough we were talking about earlier?
I don't know. Never played it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it was on the Wii U, and I was kind of interested in it because it's a puzzle type game.
Right.
And this is one of those things because
Was it the one where he just?
What?
I'm trying to think of how to explain it.
You can rotate the environment and find different
and he
ways.
just keeps going, but you have to rotate it around him.
I think something like that. I have not played the game, and I haven't watched anybody play the game too. Splatoon 2 is getting a bunch of new stuff. I don't really have any desire. The Octo expansion thing was like a whole single-player mode that you'll be able to play with Splatoon 2. Hyrule Warriors is coming out on Switch, which it was already out on, I think, Wii U, or maybe it was a 3DS.
It was Wii U. Also,
Yeah.
it was both actually.
Exactly. So that was another thing that was here's something that we've already done. And I think they've already announced like a Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze Switch title, which was also on Wii U. They did not talk about it in this Nintendo Direct. What else was there? There was Dark Souls on the Switch with an amiibo.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The, what is it called? Solaire of Astora?
Yeah.
The knight doing the Praise the Sun
Oh, yeah.
thing?
Sun Bro.
Yeah.
That guy.
And so when you put it on the game, your guy will do a pose.
He'll praise the sun.
Yes, exactly. South Park coming to the Nintendo Switch. The original Luigi's Mansion is getting a 3DS release.
Okay, because there was a 3DS Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon, I think it was.
Yeah, but this is the one that was on the GameCube. Is
okay.
complete a remake for that one. Little Nightmares is coming to Switch, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, which is a brand new title in, I guess, the No More Heroes thing, which I've never played. But Undertale is coming to Switch as well. Mario Tennis Aces they focused on. And not a game I'm interested in at all. What else did they have? Crash Bandicoot, which I thought was interesting, is going to be on Switch.
I saw a Crash Bandicoot.
I get that it's an Activision title.
Yeah.
But it's just always been a PlayStation-associated game.
He was the mascot for PlayStation.
He was for a very long time.
I saw a Crash Bandicoot Funko Pop today.
Crash Bandicoot is a game I never... maybe I rented it on PS1.
Yeah.
I played it in Uncharted 4.
But it's been... Right. It's been forever. But the fact that I skipped the remaster thing that was released on PS4 recently means that I have the option to pick it up here if I want to, and I get it portable. Yeah. This is where that portability comes in. Little Nightmares, which I haven't played, but I've heard great things about. Now I can have it portable if I want to. So it's one of those things where it sticks out to like, hey, I can get this version of it and have it portable if I want to do that. What was the other game that they talked about? Octopath Traveler.
Okay.
Which is the Square Enix game that I'm kind of curious about. It is it's very RPG-ish, but I don't know yet. I haven't written it off as like, it's not my thing, but we'll see. They did not talk about Metroid Prime 4 at all in this one. The other big thing announced was obviously Smash Brothers getting a release on the Switch.
Yep.
This year, which I thought was interesting, especially when they threw a date up at the end of it.
Yep.
What was that, a Splatoon character where it in the commercial and the eye showed the Smash Bros logo?
Yeah, her and her little...
so they're obviously going to be in Smash Brothers now.
Yeah.
All right. That could, I think that'd be a good addition.
I'm not a Smash guy.
No?
I love watching it, though. Those are the most enjoyable tournament games I've watched.
Chaotic fun.
They're fantastic to watch during Evo.
Evo, yeah.
Oh,
watch them during Evo. Yeah.
Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite to watch.
They also have some of the best, saltiest moments in any fighting game in existence right now.
Yeah.
I'm talking temper tantrum, chair throwing, controller breaking moments live on stream for everybody to see. It's always in Smash Brothers when I see that.
Yeah, so it was interesting seeing some of these, but it was a lot of like, here's port, here's port, here's port, here's port, here's port.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And before we go, since we're going to be talking about D&D in the next segment, the only two things I had left was that Days Gone is delayed.
Yeah.
They never really had a release date to begin with, but it's been pushed into 2019 now. And that Neil Druckmann, who we've had on this show twice, is now the vice president of Naughty Dog. So
Congratulations.
I thought that was interesting. But those are the last of the stories. Which I'm glad we got them all in because we need to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk Dungeons and Dragons. We got our character sheets printed out here. We're not going to do our characters right here on the air or anything like that.
Mess it up.
No, are we talking about the movie?
No, we're not. We're talking about all of us have the character sheets. Joshua is here over in the chair that you can't see, and he's going to be in a chair that you also won't be able to see. But if he wants to lean over into somebody's camera view so he can say hello, that's fine. Now, when you sit down here, you can do that, or you can do it right there if you want to. But he is here,
Works
and
for me.
he is going to be our DM, our dungeon master, and we'll find out all of what that means because. If you are listening and you're like me or you're like RJ, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And guess what? I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. He's going to try to explain it and make it a little bit easier to understand as we try and have a go at this Dungeons and Dragons episode coming up later this month. I'll give you the full details on that when we get back from this break. Here is music from Breath of Fire. It's the main title music. I think this is the SNES version, so here you go. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Scott along with RJ and Matt, as well as now joined by Josh, who is our... I don't know if you can get him on camera and both of you on cam. Can you get both of you in there?
Yeah.
He's trying to get you on this one here. There you are. There you are, poking your head over.
I thought on both.
The arm stand sort of.
Yeah,
right
I
in the
know.
way.
This is music from... This goes back to a PS3 launch title. It launched on the PS3 and then it dived on the PS3. It was a. Do you know the name?
Something that dived on PS3.
Think of our theme, because I know you know what the theme is.
Right.
Perfect.
Don't say anything, but think of our theme, and then think of the launch title on the PS3.
PS3?
Yes. That came out and then just immediately died.
Oh.
Matt may have it. Go for it.
Yeah, because I didn't get a PS3 at launch. I got it like months after.
Is it the female?
It's not Heavenly Sword or Blade or whatever that was.
No.
It wasn't female God of
No,
War.
but it was the weird controls.
It's Lair.
Lair.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Lair.
I was trying to remember the name. I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And it was weird controlled. Still, I think up until the end of the PS3, like full price.
It was full price. Yeah, you couldn't find it cheaper.
Yeah.
That
Which
and was it Heavenly
weird.
Sword? Was that
Heavenly Sword was still full price for
Still
a very
full
long
price,
time
yeah.
after it came out.
And I actually kind of liked Heavenly Sword.
Yeah,
I really liked
just
it.
but yeah,
And they
9
never did a
years?
sequel. I can't even remember the publisher. Who was not the publisher, but the developer of Heavenly
That's what the
Sword?
internet's for.
Was it the same ones that God of War?
No, I don't think. They were probably working on God of War.
I think we were told that Lair was like a afterburner, a medieval afterburner. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
But the controls were weird.
Yeah.
Heavenly Sword was developed by Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
07.
Phew, jeez. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And
They
still
did the
full
DMC.
price.
They did the Devil May Cry remake that I
like
liked,
making
and they
it
did
old.
Hellblade, which I still haven't played, and I would like to do that from everything I've heard. Anyway, Joshua, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are apparently, and I hate using this lingo because I don't know it well enough to feel like I am authorized to use it. But you're our dungeon master. You're our DM. You're our in a very layman's terms, what does a dungeon master do?
Maniacally kill people.
Sometimes. So a dungeon master is responsible for creating the story as well as a referee for the rules. The dungeon master is typically the person who
Is he like the
takes-
banker in Monopoly?
Kind of. Only imagine if the banker is also the one who dictates how the rules operate.
Okay.
Running off, trying to run as close to the book as
Right.
possible.
Would you kind of say it's like a narrator of a story in a way?
Absolutely. The dungeon master is, like I said, responsible for creating the world. And you can either run off a module, which is a pre-made story, or you can make your own.
Okay. Now we have set a date for our D&D episode as March the 31st. That'll be the episode where we will not be talking about the games that we played. We will not be talking about the news that happened. And God, I hope nothing really amazing breaks that week. Right? Yeah. Microsoft buys Capcom
And Sony.
or Sony or something like that. Yeah.
That's how our luck goes, folks. Something that
Yeah.
we don't want to happen, it will.
Although in that case, if something like that does, then I hope it does. Because if it takes us to do a show to get something major to happen,
Sure,
let's go
bring
for
it.
it. Nintendo decides to just make games. I don't know. So that's the date of the episode that we're going to do it on is March the 31st. I think this is 9, 10, 11. That'll be episode 12, I believe.
Yeah, like the impartial narrator of a story that builds the world and sets you upon your adventure.
So what we have with us today is we have character sheets, which apparently we have to come up with our own characters. This is role playing, and we're going to have to, make up who we want to play as in this game. I don't know the first thing about filling one of these things out, other than like I can pick a character name. That seems easy enough, but the race, I'm not sure of my options. Class and level, I'm not sure of. Let's kind of break some of this down to what we need. When you're filling out a character sheet, where do you normally start? For the first time, where do you normally start?
Well, you would start with a character name.
Okay.
And then probably, if you're not sure how to... okay, I'll have to get that. If you're not entirely sure what exactly you want your character to be, you can always fill in sort of background or personal information about them. And usually as you're coming up with a character, you can go from there to say, hey, maybe I want to be this very studious person. So you become a wizard, or I want to...
Are there any? Basically, what I'm asking is, character name, yes, that's easy because I have to come up with that myself. But class and level isn't just something I can pull out of my head. There's got to be options. What are the options?
So the options for the different classes,
I would imagine that's also for race, background, alignment, and experience points. So you don't just say, I'm going to give myself 5,000 experience points.
Only if your DM tells you to.
Right.
I would say like class would be think about what style of you want to play as.
What's
like
the option though?
Well, like in Diablo, right? You could be like a wizard, or you could be like a sword and clanker, or you could be a necromancer, stuff like that. There are a lot of classes, so think of like what style you want to play, and then from there you could pick your class.
Where can I find a list of all the classes?
So
probably in the rule book that you brought, which we don't have
actually-
time for, I'm sure.
No, but I actually brought, if you don't mind showing it to people. I brought the starter rule book, which has some of the information on there. And anyone interested in getting a D&D, I highly recommend the starter set. It's like $20 as opposed to, what was it, $50 for the player's handbook?
Yeah.
Starter rule book is great if you've never played before. There's also a lot of online resources to get into. But as far as how you want to go into it, the best way for me to answer that, as far as your options, is to basically ask some questions about this character. And you say, okay, I want to use a longsword. I want to cast spells. I want to shoot a bow and arrow.
Be sneaky.
I want to be sneaky. I want to insult people.
So yeah, think of like the the game style that you want to play.
Yeah, okay.
And then from there, because if you want to be sneaky, then that you'll gear you towards like
I want
rangers.
I want to be a tank. I want to be a healer. I'm gonna go the COH way, which was
Yeah.
City of Heroes. I can be a blaster or a tank or a healer or what was the other class?
In my case, I'm thinking of Fantasy Star Online right now. In that case, I was a ranger, so long distance and support, which I always do in every role playing game I do. It's a support character that can help out the heavy hitters who are specialized in close range. I'm the guy in the back assisting from a distance, and if they need health or buffing, I can hit you from a distance and keep back there and do what I do. That type of thing.
And there's a lot of creativity even with the classes. One of the classes is a Cleric, which you mentioned long range damage, support. That can be ranger. That could be the nature magician known as a druid, or you could take a Cleric and you could build it with dexterity in mind, which is the bonus towards bow and arrow. And there's pretty limitless potential. Probably one of the hardest things people get into with D&D is they try to box themselves into what are my options, when the real question should be, what do I want to do as a player? So you have to think kind of outside working in, as opposed to creating a character, having a list of classes and say, oh, that looks fun. You ask yourself, what do I want to do in the world?
Yeah.
And it builds from there.
The closest I've had to this was I was at PAX South, which I always want to say PAX West because it's in Texas. That's why. But PAX South, and there was a touring group called True Dungeon. And I did the demo of it, and they sent us into a room, and they didn't say, hey, what do you like to play or anything like that. They said, first they asked, who wants to be the bard? They didn't want to leave that up to chance. They're just like, who wants to be the bard? You're going to have to sing. You're going to have to do these things. Who wants to do that? Go ahead and figure that out now. And they did. And once they figured that out, they said, okay, the other stuff is up to whoever, up to whatever you want to do. And they passed it out, and they said, don't look at the cards. Just take the card and then take one card, pass the pile next. And then you looked at it and said, oh, I got this. It was all by chance because this was just a demo, and I got the rogue. They said, hey, are you good with puzzles? I was like, I love puzzles. They're like, okay, you're the rogue, and you're going to get to figure out puzzles and things like that. So,
well, there are subclasses within the different classes. So if you picked rogue, you would have the swashbuckler, which is my personal favorite in the rogues because they don't need help to do their normal damage.
So a rogue would be
more survival.
Is a rogue a race or a class?
Rogue is a class.
Okay, so you just combined what sounded like two different things, rogue and swashbuckling.
That's a subclass.
Okay.
Yeah. We won't have to worry about that for
We're not
the
doing
end of the month.
Okay, that's fine.
That won't come up. For anyone that is listening and interested, we're basically going to do a level one shot.
I want to make this as basic as possible, and I hate to say that, but it's just that there's two of us who don't know any of this. There's a time limit on this, and there's probably a lot of listeners who have no idea what any of this stuff is. And we're just going to I want to try and make it interesting for them, just like the two of us, me and RJ, who have no idea what we're doing either.
Yeah.
So
my second option that I was thinking was a necromancer.
I think there's I see you. There's
fan.
The closest thing, there is a necromancy subclass in the wizard. A lot of people will also get a little creative with the warlock class. 5th edition, which is the edition we'll be playing, allows for a lot more creativity as far as everything being up to the player to ask the DM. So, for instance, you could have, as a warlock, you could have a familiar, which is used to cast your spells. As a wizard, you could have a necromancer who does that. And things that a lot of people took as restrictions in prior editions are now what are called flavor, which means it doesn't matter mechanically as long as you're adhering to the mechanics, you can make something act however you want.
I know, Matt, you're probably going to want to go nuts with this thing, but just
I'm going to keep it simple.
Try and keep it simple for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be keeping it simple. So if you try to up the advancement, me and RJ and the audience are not going to be able to follow along or understand. That means there's going to be more explanations, and we want to try and keep those brief and blunt.
And we could choose our own alignment, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. This will probably take place, since you want a pretty basic storyline, it'll probably take place in like a guild in a city, and it'll just be a very basic mission. Go out, do something. I might have a little bit of entry or opening statement to say about the world that you're in.
So this is radio, and I know that we're on Twitch. We're broadcasting on Twitch, and we'll be on YouTube and stuff. But radio is always considered the theater of the mind. So as much
descriptive.
Yes. What was the word I'm thinking of? Extrapolation or as much detail of what's going on as possible to paint that picture.
Oh, absolutely.
So character name, then we got class and level. How many races are there?
Oh, boy.
Okay, well then don't answer that. There's a lot of races.
A lot.
We got double digits.
There are sub-races within certain races. For instance, you have the dwarf, and the dwarfs are naturally very stocky and hardy. They are not so easily poisoned. You have two options. You have three options. I apologize. You have the mountain dwarf, which that's the one I believe someone's going to get angry if I get this wrong, so I apologize. That's the one with the wisdom bonus. They tend to make the better clerics. They're a bit wiser. Then you got the hill dwarves who... Is it mountain or hill dwarves that get an extra hit point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it was the hill dwarf that kind of got maybe a little bit wisdom. Maybe dexterity.
Yeah, and it's just one thing as a
getting
DM
help
is-
from the side here.
Yeah, it's my wife. And
Kind of like in Elder Scrolls, how you have like dark elves or the different type of elves.
Yeah.
So that's like the subclass.
You say that like we know.
You guys never played Elder Scrolls?
No, whenever I hear elf, I think you got the elves, you got the dark elves, you got some other type of elves, and you got the drows. I heard that term before.
Elf
One
would be-
specializes in dark, evil.
One's
don't mess with
better
the,
with
don't mess with this group.
archery.
Yeah.
So
Like
yeah,
that,
you do have specializations and subclasses.
So yeah. So for every race, there's like I said, subclass. Like this type, you this class, you got two other subcategories in there with it, two to three, like you say. So there's a lot of races in there to pick from.
Oh wow, brought out the book.
Yeah, break out the book.
See, I remember years, like long time ago when I played, they introduced ninjas. Remember that? Was that like 3rd edition?
Probably the closest thing to a ninja in 5th edition would be the assassin subclass of rogue.
But I mean, this was like a long time ago.
Where do we get? Okay, I'm looking at the pre-filled out sheets. We had I printed off sheets that were already filled out by just whatever default kind of things, and they left experience points blank. But yet they filled in things like our strength and our dexterity and our intelligence. They filled those in. Where do you get those numbers from?
So there
not
are
necessarily the pluses, but the ones that are in.
Yeah.
I guess the base numbers. I'm not sure.
Right. So I can't remember how it has it on the pre-gens, but you're going to have There
you go.
Okay, so they put the larger numbers in the smaller circle.
Yeah.
That's fine. So the pluses and minuses are determined by the larger number. And those numbers, I guess they made that. They probably used what's called the point buy system, where you're given a certain number of points to allocate towards those stats. Sort of a more traditional MMO or RPG design. When you level up, you've got strength, con, dex, and all that, and you get certain points that you add to it as you level up. In this case, they give you some to start with. The alternative method, or I should say the traditional method, is to take dice and roll it.
Okay, I remember hearing about
to
that
determine
before,
your stats.
You rolled a 8, so you get something else like that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I see.
I like to break it down in like kind of video game terms in a way to help out the Central Gaming Show. But like in Fallout, how you have like 21 points to start off with,
Right.
and then you have your
Yes.
special, and you're like, oh, I want to bump up, strength.
Yeah, you can
I wanna
go.
bump
You
up
can go.
charisma.
Even, you can go even all the way across. You can have some specialist. In
Yeah.
there,
So that way, for like, I
That's-
want to be a talker. I want to bump up charisma.
yeah. Or
That's
you want
where
to
I
be strong
thought
as an
the,
ox. Put it all to strength. Yeah.
That's where I thought the experience points came into play, because you would assign experience points, and then we divide those up amongst the strength, the dexterity, the wisdom, and stuff. But that's not the case.
When you get enough experience, you level up. All the classes have been uniform. I can't remember if 4th edition made everything uniform or not. Used to be different classes had different leveling curves, but now everything's kind of on a flat field. But yeah, once you level up, you will get new abilities that are put down in the book. They tell you what you get when you level. And then 4th, 8th, and then subsequent levels from there on, depending on your class, you get something called an ability score increase, where you can increase those physical and mental attributes by 2 or divide the 2 points up into +1 each.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to take a feat, which I won't worry about that unless one of you say you're playing variant human.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just going to do normal human. Like I said, as basic as possible.
Yeah, and it may be best for me just to pick one of these pre-built sheets to go through, especially to go through this, because this is a lot. There's a lot of stuff here to fill out, and especially for someone just starting out, I have no idea where any of this stuff comes from.
Well, a lot of it is given to you. Actually, when you go into the player's handbook and you look at the class, it says, okay, here's the things you get. For instance, I'm looking at a first level fighter. So someone just starting out, they are a noble, which is a background that you pick as a player.
Yeah.
And they have really high strength and really low dexterity. So looking at it just kind of at a cursory glance, they appear to be some kind of knight that uses a great axe.
Kind of like a tank?
Yeah, not so tanky because they don't have a shield, but they did take a fighting style that makes them harder to hit.
Okay.
Usually if someone is playing a tank, they'll have a shield. But yeah, this character seems to be more of someone who is very durable, someone who can take enough damage that they can be on the front lines, but they have given up the additional protection of a shield in exchange for a large weapon.
I think about the character, if anybody's played Dragon's Crown.
I have not.
The Amazon.
Yeah.
She has that big axe, very little in terms of armor, but the problem is
she's a female in a fantasy setting.
Yeah, the problem
What
is
do you expect?
yeah, but the problem is getting closer because she has all the range in the world with the length of the axe. But yeah, that's what it sounds like to me looking at this and the way you describe it.
Well, this person does have armor with a 17. I want to say they have splint mail.
That's one of the sheets that I had given you. There was a pre-generated sheet. So RJ, you have one. I'm looking over these and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to pick like anybody that can cast a spell. I don't even want to get into how spell casting gets done for somebody that's a noob. Matt, Sarah, they can go that way if they want to and probably will. But me, I'm sticking away from.
So it sounds like the only limit is your imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it
I'm
is.
thinking ways like if I wanted to heal someone from a distance, if I don't want to spell, if I wanted to say shoot a healing arrow,
That would
or
be
something like that.
Yeah, that would be something that's up to your DM. You'd have to talk with them. You'd say, oh, okay, so I have this arrow and I have this potion that heals people. If I don't hit them with the arrow,
No, I'm thinking
because then you're going to undo all your work.
No, I'm thinking like
Like Borderlands?
no, like a healing. No, not shoot them directly. That's Borderlands. It's crazy. No, cloud.
Okay.
Think about a tear gas. It doesn't have to hit the target. It
Like
just has
an
to hit
area
close,
effect?
and it just has to hit close and make a cloud somewhere. Anybody in that, you're either sleep, disoriented, heal up,
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
That's the type of thing I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Healing Cloud, I mean, it really is up to the DM, and I've actually played some sci-fi games where spells were actually technology. So, for instance, someone would throw a grenade that sent out a healing agent, and the spell that they used was Mass Healing Word. So, mechanically, it is the fantasy setting, but with the flavor text, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Okay, so we're kind of running short on time. What do we need to? What should we discuss next week in our less than 30 minutes of time we discuss each? I'm going to try and make sure you get about 30 minutes each week, but leading up to it. But what should we discuss next week? And what should we have ready by next week?
Well, if you want to go ahead and do the point buy for your character, or if you want to roll dice, I mean, it's either or.
I mean, we could talk
I
about
don't
this in our
have
group
any-
text that we've got going
Yeah,
on to
yeah.
kind of figure out. But what should we discuss next week?
come up with your character idea.
Okay.
Name what they did. Don't worry so much about. You don't have to be specific with names of locations. I'll
Okay.
take care of that. But what they did in their life and how they got to where they are. And I'll post in the group chat kind of where you're going to be set up. I think I already have.
You have,
I
yeah.
have a
you
rough
did.
idea
about
of
this area?
what I want.
So
Yeah.
about this area, the basic info here and the little things right
Yeah,
here?
stuff like this,
Yeah,
and
okay.
then go on the back and just kind of do some short notes about your character because your character is going to have their own motivations
Yeah.
Yeah.
for being there.
All right. Well, Joshua, I appreciate it. I know it was a quick little thing. We're going to try and extend these a little bit longer next time and each time so that we can get more information in. It feels like it just goes by so very fast.
I know.
But our D&D episode is going to be set for the 31st of March. So the end of this month is when we're going to attempt to make this happen, and we hope that it does. We've gotten everybody's schedules all lined up and ready to go. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming by, Josh. We appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in the chat room and everybody listening to the stream and on the radio. Thanks to everybody who gets us each week from iTunes. Don't forget to go to our ingamechat.net and find us on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to our Twitch channel and YouTube channel that we've got there. Subscribe to all that stuff, our Discord and everything else.
What was the theme?
I know, the theme. This is music from Altered Beast,
remember
which
this.
sounds
Oh,
very
yeah.
strange.
Welcome to your grave.
Yeah.
Oh no, this doesn't sound as bad as that other one.
Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, that didn't sound.
If nobody knows what the theme of it is, it was all games that contain dragons in them. That was what it was.
Yep.
So anyway, have a great week. We will see you next Saturday.